What's going on? Hey guys, it's Nikki. Today I'm doing just my regular everyday makeup routine. I have cat hair all over my chin. It's not part of the look. Hold on. I do this every day, minus the lip gloss. I usually just use chapstick or something, but I thought that would be a little boring for a video. I know I do just like characters and you know, weird makeup stuff, but I actually love all things beauty, so I want to start making different types of videos on my channel, like regular beauty stuff, smoky eyes, winged liner, and all that stuff. So today I'm just doing my everyday makeup, and I hope you guys really enjoy watching this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you want to see how to get my just everyday look, please keep watching. Okay, so I'm just going to start by using this foundation. It's L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I like this just for everyday wear, and I'm just going to kind of glob it on my face just a little bit. I don't know if that's a little bit, but it is to me. And I'm using this foundation brush. It's dense and flat. I know you can't really be on YouTube these days without using a beauty blender. Maybe I'll get one day, but I'm still using this brush. I like it. I'm just flipping my nose ring around because I don't want to get foundation all over that. I also like to get a little bit on my earlobes here and down on my neck, because you don't want to get the mask effect. Next thing I'm going to use is this also L'Oreal Infallible. It's actually foundation, but I use it as concealer because it's super thick. I tried it as foundation a couple times and it's just too cakey looking for me. So I just take it under my eyes. I put like a little glob and then spread it out in the formation of that triangle. So down to the nose and then up to the cheekbone. And then keeping that triangle shape and running down the side of my nose and down to the side of my nostril. So now I'm just going to use the foundation and go over, the concealer and go over some of my red spots, my blemishes, and just where I naturally have some redness to my face. So for me, that's right on the sides of my lips. On the sides of my nose. And then I just have a few blemishes on my chin here that I want to cover. So I'm just going to use my finger again and blend it in. Okay, now I just have this super old powder that I need to get a new one. But it's just like CoverGirl's, I don't know, it's probably their first powder they ever made. But I just flip it over until some falls over into the lid here. And I just have this fluffy brush, and I just got an e.l.f. one. I mean, it's super cheap, it's like $3. And I just swirl it in there, tap off the excess, and lightly brush it on. I try not to go too heavy-handed with this because then you start to smear the concealer and foundation that you just put in. I put a little extra under my eyes. Okay. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I have a few items here that are not Drugstore. This is my bronzer that I use. It's Laura Geller, and it's got like, it's like bronzer, highlighter, and kind of blush mixed in together. And I don't contour on a daily basis, but I do use a bronzer in places where I would contour. It's just kind of like a, I guess, subtle contouring. Whenever I've used like a contour powder or a bronzer from a drugstore, they always end up looking like muddy or orangey on me, so I just spend a little extra money to get this. So I'm just putting it in the hollows of my cheeks here. And I'm taking the same powder brush and just squeezing it to make that fan brush effect. There's no need to spend extra money on a fan brush if you don't need to. And then I take it up on my temple. I also bring it on the top of my forehead to make it look smaller. My brother, he's probably not watching this because this isn't like a character transformation, but Jason, my brother, always makes fun of my forehead and calls it a 5 head. So I try to make it look smaller. Thanks for the insecurity, Jay. And I also take some of it under my lip. If you put some shadow right here, it makes your lips look a little fuller, like it's, the idea is like they're so big they're casting a shadow right underneath them. So I put a little bit there, put a little bit on the sides of my nose, right along my jawline. And on my neck a little bit to blend. And the last place I put it is right on my eyelids. Just gives like a natural contouring to the eyes. Okay, the next thing I use, and this is super old. This did come in one of my Ipsy bags. It's called Seraphine Guava Butter. So it's just this like creamy blush stick. I also use it on my lips sometimes. It's kind of like a multi-purpose product. So I just take a little bit of that on the apples of my cheeks and then use my fingers to blend it in, just to give some color back to my ghosty complexion. I seriously need to use some self-tanner or something. This is me with like tanning lotion on. It's really sad. Okay, this next product is not Drugstore either. It's by Urban Decay and it's their eyeshadow primer potion. I really like this product. I honestly haven't tried any Drugstore primers. When I first got introduced to primers, it was this one and I just never stopped using it since. But I'm sure there are Drugstore options that you can use. And I just put a little bit of that on my eyelids. And if you don't use a primer, your eyeshadow will just crease and disappear throughout the day. So this is like a really important step in my opinion. And I just bring that all the way up to the brow bone. Okay, then for my actual eyeshadow, this is by Rimmel London. It's like a super cheap brand and this is super old as well. But I love this shadow right here. It's like kind of like a rose gold shimmery color and I use it on my eyelids just about every day. So I'm just taking like a flat brush here and just putting that all over just the eyelid part. I'm not going any higher than just the eyelid, but I'm putting it all over here. Okay, and then for my crease, this palette, which looks weirdly identical to this palette, but this is actually by NYC. I got this a long time ago as well. And for my crease, I like to use this color over here. You can tell it's like hitting pan already. And I'm just using this small little dome brush. And I'm gonna do like a little V pattern, building it more in the corners. And then bringing it in the crease. I'm gonna be using a larger fluffy brush to blend it, but this is just placement right here. Okay, and then I'm taking this Sedona lace brush. It's like a larger puffy fluffy brush. And I'm going to dip it in that same color and then just do like that windshield wiper motion, blend out. So windshield wiper across the crease and then I'm blending in circular motions out towards my brow bone. And building up the color a little bit more in that crease. And I like to make it quite a bit darker, going towards the outside of my eye here. So I'm just going back to that first palette, and I feel like this is a really important step in getting a nice blended look on your eye. I use a flush tone color that's similar to my eyelid color, and I just dip my brush in there and sweep that across where my brow bone is, and it just kind of cleans up where your crease is to make it look less like a dirty eye. Nobody wants a dirty eye. And I also take that same flush tone and bring it out of the corner of my eye here, and again it just cleans up that angle there. Okay, so that's all I really do for shadows on the top of my lid. What I'm going to do now is I do a winged liner every day. This is also by L'Oreal, and I'm realizing I have a lot of L'Oreal products. I didn't know that. But this is Voluminous Superstar, and I really like this eyeliner. It's a felt tip, and I feel like this is also really good for beginners when doing winged liner because it's nice and stiff, and it gives you kind of like a steady handle on making that, that winged eye. So what I do is just kind of turn it on its side. I don't really use the tip of it right here, but I'm just turning it on its side and making light strokes across my lash line. And I bring it all the way down to the center of my eye where my tear duct is. Again, just keeping it on its side and making those really short strokes. I need to bring my mirror over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Forgive the dirtiness. Okay, so then to make the actual wing, what I do is point it in the direction where my eyebrow ends. Again, turning it on its side, and I just make a line connecting the edge of my eyebrow to the corner of my eye. Just like that. And I'm going to extend it up a little bit more because I like to be a drama queen and have huge wings. Okay, so I have my first line there. What I'm going to do next is make another line and connect the wing to kind of the center, almost the center of my eyelid. So I'm going to start right here at the tip and bring the triangle in. Just like that. And now I'm going to fill in that space in the middle. And then we have this wing that comes out of this very thin line. So I just want to build up this thin line as it gets closer to the wing to make it look a little more like, and less just like a straight line and then a wing. So I'm just going to make that a little more balanced here by building it up in the center of my eyelid. Okay, so that is my wing. What I also do, and this kind of helps, I feel like the bridge of my nose is a little wide, so what I like to do is bring the eyeliner down to a point in the center of my eye, and it kind of brings my eyes closer together. I'm sure everybody watches Carly, I think her name's Bybel. She did this and I loved it, and I've been doing it ever since. So again, I'm just using the side of the eyeliner. And just bringing it down to a point. I hope you can see that. So that is one eye. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so now I have my two wings on my eyes. Again, you can be more subtle and have just like a very short wing, but I like to be extra. The next thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. As you can see, I'm naturally blonde, so my eyebrows are practically non-existent, so I need to create them myself. So this is almost gone here, but gosh, I think it's Maybelline. I'll have to look into that because for natural blondes, it is super hard to find a brow color that suits my hair color. This is a little bit darker than my natural hair color, but it seems like every brow pencil that says it's dirty blonde or dark blonde, it turns out looking like a yellowish brown. This I would still consider kind of light brown, but it's got like, I guess, green undertones. That sounds bad. It's not green, but it's got like green undertones, so it looks more like an ashy blonde than like a yellow blonde. So I really like this pencil. I think it's Maybelline. I'll leave it down in the description below when I figure out what it is. But basically, to do my eyebrows, what I do is my eyebrow hair is a little more sparse than I'd like it to be right at the front here. So I'm just going to start the line a little bit low, right here. And I just make short strokes. And I bring the line up into my arch. And bring it down here. Again, just using very short strokes. Then I want to fill in this part in the front here, so I make some more short strokes going up. And then I want to fill out the top portion of my eyebrow as well, so I'm just going to bring this line up, do those short strokes. And it's really whatever shape you feel suits your face the best. I happen to like higher arches. So then I just bring it down like that. So the front of my eyebrow here, I just want to fix up a little bit more. It's like a little bit spotty. So I'm just going to continue to do those short strokes and fill it in a little bit more in the front here. I don't really like, the popular thing right now is that like fade in the front of the eyebrow. I don't really like that. I understand it's like the professional look, but if you're going for like an everyday look, it's a little extreme, as I have like wings out to the heavens. My eyebrow hair can tend to be a little unwieldy, so I like to use some brow gel on top of it. This is by CoverGirl. It's called Easy Breezy Brow Shape and Define, and this is in the color blonde, I think, soft blonde. And this also, my eyebrows look a little dark right now for my preference. This actually lightens them up a little bit and grooms them to keep them in place all day. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of clean it up on the edges. What I'm going to do next is, I have this eyeliner that is super old, as you can see, and it has a green end and it has this nude tone end, and I like to put the nude tone in my waterline because it helps my eyes to look bigger than they actually are. And then I'm going back to this NYC palette and using that tone, the eyeshadow I used already in my crease, and I'm taking a very small dome brush and I'm going to take that on the bottom of my lid. I really like to have eyeshadow on the bottom of my lid if it's on the top, because it just kind of makes the whole eye look a little more cohesive. So I'm just starting in the corner here and sweeping it along the lash line. I'm not getting it in my waterline because that would ruin the effect of the big eyes that we just did with the nude tone. So I'm just sweeping this across, and once I get closer to the inward parts of my eye, I like to bring the color down. Just like that. So I don't go all the way along the lash line and bring it up to my tear duct. I like to go down a little bit, and this again creates that illusion that your eyes are quite open. So I'm going to do the same thing over here on this other side. I want to do my highlighter now, and I also use this brand. It's not Drugstore, but it's by Too Faced. It's called Candlelight Glow. I really like this highlighter. It comes with like a peachy tone over here and more of like a crystal tone over here. So I like to just kind of mix them together. And I'm using this kind of flat, fluffy brush here. And I'm pushing that right in the space where, so I have my eyeliner that extends to a point here, and then I have my eyeshadow that dips down here. And what I like to do is place the highlight right in between those two sections. And again, it just kind of opens the eye. So a lot of people, and I like this look on a lot of girls, but for me, like I said, I think the bridge of my nose is a little bit wide, and I like to make my eyes look a little closer together than they are. So I find that when I put the highlight right in the corner of my eye, like a lot of girls put it like right here in the corner, I find that it makes my eyes look too far apart. So when I put it underneath my eye a little bit, it still gives that open effect, but it doesn't make my eyes look further apart than they actually are. So then I'm taking that same color, I'm going to sweep it under my brow bone. Putting it on my Cupid's bow, and I'm flipping my nose ring back, I forgot about that. There we go. And I'm just putting some on the tip of my nose here, so it looks like a beacon of light. And bringing it up my nose. Again, that makes it look like a thinner nose. Then I'm switching over to this more fluffy dome shaped brush. Again, a lot of people use fan brushes for this, but again, I'm swirling this together just like this, and I'm going to bring this along my cheekbone. Again, a lot of people use fan brushes for this. I don't find that it's super necessary, as long as you have something with like a, like this goes up into a, not a point, but it's more like rounded on the top, so you can kind of control the amount that you're putting on. So I like to put this right on the point of my chin that kind of protrudes. So we have the light coming out at you, and then we have the bronzer, which I put right in my crease here. So we are defining the chin here, and I like to put a little bit on my forehead. Okay, so I already put one coat on my eyelashes. I'm going to go back and do one more coat on each side. And then I'm just going to flip it over. It's kind of like a curved brush here. And there's a hair on it. It's a curved brush, so I'm going to use the convex portion here and do the bottom of my lashes. And I only like to do like the outer, maybe third to a half of my eyelash. Okay, so the last thing I'd like to do is lips. And I'm just going to be using, it's just my everyday, I mean, this isn't really everyday, this is probably a little fancier than everyday. Every day I'll probably just wear chapstick. But since this is a tutorial, I don't want to just slap on chapstick and call it a day. So I'm just going to put on this NYX Butter Gloss. What color is this in? Raspberry Pavlova. Hey, Klaus. Klaus really likes to help me with this part, so he came at just the right time. But anyway, I really like this lip gloss because it's not sticky or anything, and even when the gloss kind of goes away, it leaves a good, a nice color payoff on your lips. So I'm just going to apply this. Rose, you coming to say hi to everybody? Hey! We always make fun of Klaus because he looks like just eyes in the night. Like you can't see anything and you just see these like huge eyes coming at you. He's so cute! Klaus! What are you doing? Okay guys, so that was my kind of everyday look. Again, the lips are a little dark for everyday, but I was just feeling spicy, I guess. But overall, this is what I do on a daily basis. I hope you guys really liked watching this. Again, I love all things beauty. I know I've been doing just characters so far, but I really want to get into doing all kinds of beauty tutorials, whether they be regular looks or ET or something crazy like that. So if you guys have any recommendations or any requests that you'd like to see me do, please leave it in the comment section below. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace!